is day 5 of our advent calendar of cookies, and today we are making New York style cookies. I tried to make some ages ago, a few years ago now, and I think I overbit the butter and everything, so the texture didn't work out and they spread a lot. So it's kind of my redemption arc, so I'm really going to try to make it work. Today I'm making the pumpkin spice one because, you know me, I'm a pumpkin bitch. And if I have to make New York style cookies, I'm definitely going to try to make them pumpkin. I really want to make another one, but if this one fails, I'm gonna move on to something else. Something that does not require actually this style, because style is, if it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for me, you know. So I'm going to prepare the batter now, batter the dough, and I'm going to freeze it today. It is early in the morning for me, so I'm making them first thing in the morning, and then I'm going to freeze them all day, and I'm going to eat them tonight. Bake them, they take 16 minutes to bake, it's gonna be fine. I already have here my sugars, and I've got my butter that is cubed, and I put it in the fridge to be sure that it will be extra cold when I pick it to make them. Yeah, I prepared everything in advance, which isn't always something that I do. But it's a recipe where being fast is very important. Because if you wait and the butter melts and everything gets too mixed, you're gonna have some problems. And I don't want to do that. I want to put every chance on my side. That's why this time I'm using a mixer. I think I used mixer, but I went too far. I bet it's too hard, too fast. I don't know. I'm also halving the recipe because my mixer is really small, and I also don't want to have 12 cookies lying in my freezer forever and ever, waiting for me to finally get the motivation to eat it. Sugar and butter mix very lightly, then we add the chocolate, and then we move on. It doesn't break down the butter at all, which is, you know, great. It's hard to find a fine line between don't overmix it and actually break down the cubes of butter. But I think I'm gonna try now because I don't want to overmix it at all. Chocolate, white chocolate. One. Oh, the cube is still really big. Cubes are still really big, but I really don't want to overmix it. So here I have the flour, baking powder, salt, and pumpkin spice. Not as much pumpkin spice as I instinctively would have put, but I do put a lot of pumpkin spice because of it. So maybe I'm not the best example to follow. It's easier to follow recipes of people that actually put a lot of work and thought into developing said recipe. Chunks of butter are still too big. I'm gonna try to break them. Break them in half, I think, is enough. My mixer is not very powerful, so maybe that's the problem. I'm not sure. Or maybe the butter was actually too cold, which is a possibility, albeit not a very comfortable one, I suppose you could say. You know what? Close enough. Now we add the pumpkin puree. I baked it and prepared it 2 days ago, I think. And now I just added some vanilla. The slightest bit of vanilla I can get away with, to be truthful. And I don't know if I made, but I nailed this batch. And the puree is not at all liquidy, which is good. Because you don't want to add moisture to this. It's not coming together at all. Honestly, it's just crumble right now. I'm tempted to like add an egg. I think the problem is the butter. It's fucking sawdust, man. You know that Kronk meme of like it's all coming together now? It's not coming all together. It's fucking sawdust, man. There's no way I'm making this into a cookie. Smells amazing though. Yeah, no, I'm adding an egg. Screw that. So I guess no, it's not a good experience again for the New York style cookie. I'm definitely cursed. Definitely not doing well with them. Tragic. Yeah, see, it's better. It's better. Now I think it holds together. Close enough. Let me mix a little more. I think it's good for me. I'm supposed to be forming them and rolling them in demerara sugar, but I don't even know what that is. But I have cane sugar, so I think that's close enough. I'm gonna roll them in that. And I have to make 125 gram balls. I'm not fascinated by it, huh? Not happy with it. The end cookie better be good. I'm telling you right now. Because I've got chunks of butter, which is very uncomfortable. Hey, not bad. Not too much pressed. Roll them. Then I roll them individually with plastic wrap. And then freeze them. Barely holds together. I don't know if you can ever say that it holds together, but it's the recipe, man. I'm really wondering if the hype, it's worth the hype, because the end cookie is worth the hype, because yeah, it's a lot of work. And like everybody got obsessed with those Levain cookies from New York. And I'm like, was it worth it? Was it? Yeah, I'm pretty good. 127. Supposed to have 6, but I added an egg, so that probably is going to mess up the scale. Like ideally, I'd put them in Tupperware before putting them in the freezer, but the freezer is really small. Just don't have the room for that. one, 25. Yay! Pretty good. So I'm gonna wrap them individually and place them where I can on. Okay, so it's not 125 because I added the egg, but I don't have enough to make another cookie. Man, this is a mess. I've got 169 with the last cookie, which is a little massive, but it's gonna be a single serve cookie when I bake it, you know? I'm gonna bake it alone and it's gonna be enough to feed me for a whole day. Here, got my 6 cookies and a big mess to clean. I'll see you tonight. Maybe the pumpkin puree actually didn't have enough moisture. Maybe what I thought was a blessing was actually a curse. Alright, I'm back. It's cold and rainy and wet outside. So I'm ready for some warm cookies. Oven is preheating. It's been for like 10 minutes, so it's hot enough, I think. It has to be very hot. So it is. And now I'm going to pull 2 of them. I'm going to bake 2 of them because I don't want to bake them all. I'm not going to eat them all. Oh, look at that! This one's finished. Here they are. They are literally right out of the freezer. They are rock solid, and it goes against my best instinct to put rock solid cookie dough in a very hot oven, but that's the recipe, and apparently it works for everybody else. It's just weird. So I hope it turned out okay. I already had to tweak the recipe to add an egg. Maybe it was because my puree was not wet enough, maybe. But if it's spread like this time, and I end up with like puddles of cookies that are thin and the chip, I'm gonna be mad. But it has not happened yet, so you don't know. Alright, 16 minutes. I have very, very low hopes that it's gonna be baked enough in 16 minutes, but who am I to know? I still welcome the heat because it's cold. So hey, wanna see what it looks like now? Fresh out of the oven, where it was for like 90 minutes. Yeah, that's right. Ugly as fuck. It melted. It melted. I think it's only possible to succeed in this recipe, this type of cookies, if you have like an electric oven with a fan, and I do not have that. I have a gas oven that only heats from the bottom up. It's not compatible. It's all melted. The fact that the butter didn't properly mix into it most likely did not help. Gonna put it back in the oven because it doesn't look cooked. I am definitely cursed and it's definitely not working. I think it's the oven. So that means that since my oven is not going anywhere, I probably won't be able to succeed to any New York style cookie ever. So I should probably scratch the one that I have for the end of the updated. I have one because there is a Christmas one with like candied gingers and stuff. That looked amazing. But if it doesn't work because my oven won't, then just it's not meant to be. Kinda sucks. Kinda sucks. I don't really have an option. I don't have that many options. I'm thinking. There are other cookies I could do. I don't have to do that one. It's fine. It still sucks, you know, because they do look nice. Look chunky and cooked through and, you know, good. They look nice. They never look nice when they come out of my oven. Should have known that it was too good to be true. I knew what I was doing that it was too good to be true. So I'm that surprised. Still sucks. Yeah, at least my ass is warmed up by the oven. I make toast instead. I've got this amazing artisan bread that has like hazelnut in it, and it's sweet and cost me like $3.60, but I'm fine with it. And I can finally eat now that I can eat gluten again. And toasted, it's absolutely amazing. And it's gonna have to do because apparently cook is not going to happen. Fuck me. Another in flatter. They really don't look good, you know. Oh, and also they're leaking butter everywhere. This is not good. Guys, if you want to try to do that kind of cookie, mix the butter in properly. Don't leave huge chunks of it. Alright. Cutting it a day. Leaving them to cool. In the videos, you know, they eat it straight out of the oven, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm not crazy. Well, not for that at least. I don't like being burnt. I say as I pull the bread by hand with no glove to be toasted like a heathen. Well, that's pretty hypocritical of me. There is no way I can make a good thumbnail with that. They're not pretty in any way. They look disgusting. Do smell kinda nice. So it's something, I guess. Honestly, I don't think the egg is the problem. I think the butter is. Alright, they're cold. I'm taking the prettiest one and eating it. They seem to hold together pretty well, but they're pretty much leaking butter all over around, which I don't think is normal or good. white chocolate is almighty. Tastes pretty good, but since the whole thing about New York style cookies is the texture, and texture is weird, I don't really count that as a win. You can change the pumpkin spice, and the white chocolate is always nice. I would put a big disclaimer: if you're using an oven that is not fan assisted, you're gonna struggle. And if I make them again, if I make the Christmas New York style cookie, I'm going to cut the butter in much smaller pieces. This way I won't need to mix it a lot, and I won't risk, it melting and being out of temperature and out of the state that we want. But it will be more incorporated into the final batter, because those chunks of butter are too big, and I think that this is one of the main problems, or the main problem. That means that the butter melts instantly and makes like a puddle that fries up the dough, makes everything worse. I can try to make it better. I can try to make the Christmas one, but this time I'm going to work on the butter. Maybe defreeze it. And the whole thing is supposed to be about putting the freezing cold dough directly into a hot oven. But I think there is some leeway there. I think I can thaw it for like 10 minutes before putting it in the oven. I think it would help immensely with the melting problem. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut the butter into much smaller chunks, and I'm going to thaw it before I bake it. I will know if thawing helps, because I still have 4 of them in my freezer right now. So if I bake them after thawing them, I will know how much that thawing impacts the final baking process. They're pretty big cookies. Finishing one is already going to be a journey. I have 2. It's going to be a long night. It's a good recipe. I think it requires a lot of chemistry and physics study to make it work, which is weird because it's a cookie. Taste wise, it's really good, but the New York style cookie is really something I have to improve on. See you tomorrow.